I have the rare privilege of talking with one of our pagan legends in the broadcasting world of podcasts. I have here Ruth of the Celtic Myth Podshow.
Hello, hello.
This is what she looks like. I'm sure we've all heard her and enjoyed her programmes, along with Gary, who's in listening to Roland Rotherham as we speak right now. So he's obviously another great big part of it. So I'd just like to ask you, how did you get the idea for doing it? And that's the first thing, and I'll ask some other stuff in a minute. How did it all start?
It started because we've both been interested in the Celtic myths, and we had both attempted to read the Irish myths, the translations, and they are such hard work. Understanding the English, which is, a lot of it is Victorian English, understanding what they actually mean, and we thought, hang on, this is really, these stories are lovely, but they're difficult to understand, so let's see if we can put it in a way that people can understand it. And it was basically, we started because we wanted to learn the myths, and we learnt them as we told the stories. So we put them into a
To
form
each
of,
other, you mean?
No. When we started the podcast, we said that's what we're going to do.
Okay, great.
And we actually didn't realise we'd end up with many people listening, to be honest.
Yeah.
We thought, there might be a few people interested. And suddenly we found that there were all these people out there who felt the same as us and were learning along with us. And we're still doing that now.
Fantastic. So how do you choose your stories?
Actually, we've actually started from the Irish mythological cycle because it was the oldest stories there are.
Right.
We didn't go from the. There's actually a little bit more that we haven't gone. We went from when the Tuatha Dé came to Ireland, rather than the Partholon and previous to that and Noah, and we thought we'd start with the Tuatha Dé because they're very well known.
Right.
And it's a very popular story, so
Sure.
it was great. Yeah, that's where we started basically.
I heard one of your first podcasts that you did, and I really liked it because not only were you telling the tales, but you were also... It's like you were doing a radio play version of it,
We
basically.
do try to dramatise them. We find it's easy. We find, one, we have loads of fun doing it, which is the first thing. And the other thing, it's easier to listen to. If we were just reading dry text to you, you'd be asleep within 2 minutes.
Sure.
So what we try to do is put it into understandable English and dramatise it to add effect, and it makes the stories interesting.
Yeah, cool. And who do you... Crikey, there's Morris dancers everywhere.
There are
See you later. Take care. How do you kind of cast it? Is it just basically you and Gary do most of it, or do you have mates? Or?
It's actually Gary and I do most of it. We do, in fact, we do all of the work, really.
Yeah.
Occasionally, our children and family are about, and we go, quick, we need a character, and sort of grab family and friends and things.
Sure.
But mostly, Gary and I do the work. I know there's people out there who think we've got a huge team, but it isn't. It's actually just us.
Yeah, great. Well, I certainly hope that you carry on doing it, and I'm looking forward to hearing Finn's stories.
Yes.
They're my favourite.
Yes, I think we're going on to the Welsh stories. We had a poll on the website.
Right.
Saying to our listeners, OK, what do you want us to do after we finish the Irish mythological cycle? And they voted for the Welsh stories, so I think in about 2 or 3 months we'll be starting the Mabinogion.
Right. Well, maybe I'll do the Finn stories.
And then and the Finn stories, I'm sure, will come somewhere after those.
Sure.
But we think we're probably going to be, the shows have got a life of about 5 years before we actually run out of the Celtic myths, and then we can go on to folklore and what have you.
Cool.
So it's not finishing anytime soon.
Brilliant. Well, we certainly are enjoying it at the moment, and thank you for all your hard work. Is there anything that you would sort of like? Is there any sort of aspect of what you're doing that, isn't quite working, that you need help with, or, do you need people to subscribe to it or listen to it?
Yes. Come and subscribe. Subscribe. Right. Please subscribe. That gives us an idea of numbers of listeners.
Right.
Because people who don't subscribe, we can see how much is downloaded, but it's very difficult to say how many people are actually listening.
Right.
And we get some wonderful feedback as well, which is really nice. So keep writing to us. Come and join the forums. Come and say hello. And yes, please subscribe. You can do it on the website. First page of the website, you'll see the subscribe button.
Brilliant. Thanks for talking to us, Ruth.
No problem. All right.
And you can
pose.
Yes, pose away. Here we go.
Headphones.
5 miles that
Fantastic.
way.
I like it. Yes. Yeah.
Talk to me. Tell me.
Is this the kind of equipment you use when you record the pod show, Gary? Or
Not at all.
No.
Not at all. This is just something we've knocked up for audible recording.
Fantastic. And you've just listened to Roland Rotherham, is that
Yes,
right?
and he was incredible.
Was he?
Absolutely amazing. Are you actually recording this now?
I am right now.
I'm being very silly.
Live. That's good. That's what we like.
How you gone?
Oh dear. Who's this?
He's got.
Who's on the front door? Look, what kind of riffraff are you letting through, Ruth? You seen this?
I don't know where it comes from.
I don't know where it comes from either.
It keeps appearing. I don't know who it is.
He needs to go back under and crawl back underneath whatever stone he came from.
Has anyone actually noticed how tall Dave the Bard actually is?
How tall is he?
Yeah, look.
He's about 7 foot.
Yeah, that's bloody tall.
That's
isn't
about
it?
8 foot.
Yeah.